Stephen, we're on ZAHO watch again. Fifth match in this tournament, and so far, okay, he's missed a few balls, but he's looked mighty good.
He has, yeah. He's looked like XINTONG's class, but his opponent this morning exudes class himself, doesn't he? Mark Selby, one of the greatest we've ever seen.
Slightly too thin a contact on the Selby's got every late last year, 6-5 from 3-1 and 4-2 down. And Selby's 5 wins, so ZAHO these days are much tougher.
He obviously took from winning the world title. I do recall that match between the pair in the international championship. It was a very lost in a decider, so it was very, very close.
17.
Gets the balls open so quickly. You're sat in your seat, he comes to the table with what looks like a half chance.
Yeah, complete opposite to Yan Bingtao.
Yeah, of course, there's more than one way to win a frame. Players prefer to do it. There's so many talented players, so many good potters. That this is not a gimme. Well, it's not a statement that you would often say when speaking about Mark Selby, but the safety shot that he played was very poor. Of all the players on the tour, he doesn't take much tempting. He'll always opt for the aggressive shot, and he's potted it nicely and got himself right back in among.
When he's at the table, he's got this ability, XINTONG, to almost suspend time. He doesn't look as though he's rushing, and yet he plays remarkably quickly.
The cluster of 5 by the pink, he would have been guaranteed on the red to right middle. Feels that you can... Yeah, nicely done.
21.
Black's off the spot yesterday. And another one, I was going to say, goes astray. That's
a shocker. He's missed that.
29.
Oh, it's never...
Well, he caught so much of the far jaw.
27.
The way these tables are configured, shot, but that had got no entitlement to go in whatsoever.
44.
But he was right in what you said about there were a few missed blacks yesterday from XINTONG, and they were all...
51.
Wouldn't be surprised for his belt. Maybe this one will be it. Everything going swimmingly for... Of course, Stephen, Mark Selby's trying to do something that's never been done before, which is to win this tournament for twice, actually. But he won 2 lots of 2. He's never won 3 in a row. One of the big stumble
length of the table. Brilliant shot. Looking to get in amongst the main cluster, but has just lost the cue ball. But yeah, what you say about Mark Selby is right. It would be permutations that can go against you as a player involved in this event. Just goes to show the cream will always rise to the top.
League Invitationals, and of course back in November the Champion of Champions.
Into the middle pocket, get cover on all the other reds. Felt that there was value in taking that on.
Look at the 6 ranking event winners, Championship League-wise, wouldn't necessarily come through, and yet they do.
Yeah, it's one of those events, isn't it, really? And it's the usual suspects, isn't it? Just goes to show that any format, really, it doesn't matter if it's a short sprint as these matches are, or...
Nice spot from SELBY, and did well to just avoid the yellow. Just a little bit of news on table 2. We saw brilliantly in both events. All-round brilliance. Obviously, we know about his safety and tactics, but he was...
Yeah, he's back, isn't he? He really is. He's playing surprised last week that... I know it's hard to really say that results are a surprise when you talk about the Masters. You know, it's the top 16 players that are involved, but practice with...
He did tell me yesterday, though, we were chatting about the Masters, and he did...
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, you know, when you're up close and looking at these top players, competitive, isn't it?
Well, I think if you go into... Gone are the days of the... Final of a 6th.
Yeah, I just can't. And he won't be pleased with that safety shot either.
Because of the all-round abilities he's got. Oh no, that pocket again, this time a fluke. There was an apology, but it was rather understated.
Yeah, do you think he meant it?
Absolutely not. I like the approach of a South African professional. When he had a fluke, he just used to laugh in his opponent's face.
17.
There'd be straighteners galore in the arena.
Somebody told me recently that Robbie Grace was actually related to...
24.
Yeah, he was a real live wire, was Robbie.
I thought he was going to say David Grace for a minute there. Easy flukes, in it. I don't know what it is about these tables, but we do see some bizarre fluke.
But it is available on YouTube. Scott Donaldson fluke. You will be a... What a setback it could be for SELBY.
Desperately look at the table to try and find a ball safe, and there isn't one. Everything was in open play for XINTONG. Puts him in front. Perfect angle to just 2 cushion round for the red into the opposite middle pocket. Being off its spot could be a potential stumbling block, but even that feels like I'm clutching at straws for Mark SELBY.
47.
Yeah, Stephen, I think the last straw has been clutched.
50.
Even had the impudence to put a little bit of side on to get closer to the green.
61. 66. 72.
If you're a fan of... Maybe Selby thought if Zhao did hash of it.
Now, Mark's
7.
That's a 3-1 last night. Well, he did have it red.
12.
Yeah, in that
16.
victory over Wu, he's been scoring potently.
17.
and as you would expect from
Always been intrigued.
leaf out of Mark's book. You know, he gives every shot a pint of blood, which is why extremely hard for it. Good shot.
And what about pace of play? Presumably slightly quick.
He's playing right now. You know, I don't think he's a slow player. I really don't.
32.
I think in those big moments, you know, at the big, getting his own way, if you like. But on the whole, how he plays in practice is exactly how he's playing now.
And when he comes to...
Oh, without a doubt. You know, that the whole reason of going to play with someone like Mark Selby is purely how they sort of conduct themselves. And actually, it's a really can win those little battles. You take quite a lot from it. I know it's only practice. Just minding his work here, Mark, making sure gets that cue ball exactly where he wants it to be. Red at the back of the pack. Pots.
But with 67 still there, he's keen to keep things tight.
So this 68.
So Zhao concedes. Good frame from Selby, that. He was rocking a little through no fault of his own. Zhao no stranger.
And such is the fine margins in snooker, Phil. Had those results gone the other way, today he may have...
There is another ring. Now, I reckon if Selby were to win this match, the likelihood of Selby Zhao... The pink not being where it normally is made that shot, in theory, a little easier.
good decision from Mark there to try and screw the cue ball around the back of the pink. Again, it's always a sign of might not be a bad idea to play into the... Oh my goodness me. I tell you what, Mark has been absolutely cursed with all of his splits. So
this time next week. Oh, that's a typical Selby shot. Seeing value with little risk. Now this time he might...
it's amazing how often that happens, you know. When you're sat in...
first frame of the match in which you can use the words... just mention those three tools. Welsh Open, he's got Fan Zhengyi.
Yeah, that'll probably be played on, what, table 3, table 4?
Well, if it does, I think questions will be...
Grand Prix. Massive new venue out in Hong Kong. Huge event that all the players come the start of each season want to be involved in. Oh, what a shot that is from Mark Selby. Deary me.
Yeah, the execution was pretty nifty, but it wasn't that, as Stephen said, he used the right word. It was the vision, the imagination.
And that was absolutely shocking. Oh, I, for one, would have loved to have seen him win the...
Now, that's a shot that Selby would have been proud of. Nice contact on the red. Well, as it turned out, he played for it full-bloodedly. And now from here, in what's been the most... go. Doesn't really materially affect the break because it does go on the black spot. So this bog standard blue is
standard, but it's not too dissimilar to the blue that he missed in the Masters against Zhao Guidong. Blue you should never miss.
Yeah, not dissimilar to the most famous Blue Championship final in the 80s. Thorne in command against the great man that eventually was named after him. That blue was an albatross around Thorne's neck forevermore.
37.
The other most simple blue I've ever seen missed was in a deciding phrase, Stephen Hendry. And it was Davis who missed it. Hendry coming through somehow.
42.
The simplest shot. It wasn't an inch putt in golf.
46. 51.
Thinking about it, that tournament called the Shanghai Masters, but it was in Shanghai.
57. SELBY 64.
Good stuff. Selby experiencing a loss. Oh, and after that, maybe 3-2 here. What a pot, and the...
Identical red be knocked in. Just gives the option to either land up low on one of those reds, bring more reds into play, or go into the main bunch knowing that you... Well, he was up.
One.
A semi-final place for sure.
9.
Having missed that red, he might be guaranteed on over the pocket. Not with any great force, though. And that means he...
17.
Well, he couldn't have played that cannon much better. You were to just see it travel on perfectly straight on that red to run back through for the black, so what a mistake that was from Mark Selby. Looked like the sort of situation where he never... I think that's why we saw he was up and pretty much walking round to play the colour. He thought the red...
Even if he loses all 3 of his matches today. But it will still come as a
39.
source of frustration when he had the chance.
It's over on table 2, just as we watch ZAHO XINTONG mop up these on our table. Oliver's just fluked the yellow in pocket. Not the easiest match ball, though. This pink, slightly hampered, but it is match ball. Big win for Oliver. Really does keep his hopes alive in this group.
Head back for Wu Yuza. Less vulnerable than he does now. He knows where the balls are. If Selby gets in, this frame is very much retrievable.
ZAHO XINTONG 7.
Where it is now, played it nicely. Now the pressure is on.
Well, as far as...
One.
Having missed the red that he missed at the start of this frame, but he was able to just good telling safety shot, got ZAHO in trouble, got his reward for it, and now he gets his chance. Bring it off.
17.
I said it was definitely there. Clearly it wasn't, so that was a misjudgment on his previous position.
SELBY 24.
Stephen, the outcome of this frame. would you believe it? There's life in the frame yet.
The place, just nestle up on top of the black,
Draw, XINTONG, 1.
keeping. Yeah, that's a great shot, actually, from Mark Selby. Okay, he hasn't got the snooker, but that was brilliant.
Yeah, dangerous, I think, is the word to describe ZAHO XINTONG from that distance. What a way to pot frame and match ball, all within his capabilities.
Draw, XINTONG, 2.
But I think that makes sense, Stephen.
Yeah, I think
3.
the position of the black is dictating Mark's decision here. Yeah, Mark, look, just sending that brown, trying to just flick that black off the cushion somewhat. Not quite. And that's to Mark's advantage. Oh, he's done well. He has done well.
Selby concedes, and so the fun continues for ZAHO XINTONG, the